Hi everybody, it's Ashley of Day-to-Day Social Work. I'm a private online tutor and I specialize in assisting people to pass the license exam for social work on the master's and bachelor's level. You can find me online at daytodaysocialwork.wix.com/my site, and you can find me on YouTube at Day-to-Day Social Work. So thank you for joining me. I just felt in the mood to get some videos done today since I'm feeling a little bit better and I have some free time. So I've been thinking about what kind of content I wanted to bring to update the channel since I've been out. I do want to recognize another person that recently passed her exam. Her name is Veronica, and she recently passed her exam yesterday. She passed it. She had 101 points, and I'm not sure how many points she needed to pass, but normally it's somewhere between like 93 and 98 points or something like that. So congratulations to Veronica, and hopefully she'll make a video or a written testimonial to put on the website. Some people who have passed the exam recently have elected not to make a video, so if you are curious about people passing the exam and what their testimonials are, then you can look on the website, because a lot of them will just write a paragraph and I'll just post it on the website. So if you don't see videos popping up, it's because some people are kind of camera shy and they don't want to be on the internet and that kind of thing, which is fine. But if you check out the testimonial page on the website, that's where their experiences are posted. So this video is about self-care, and I'm going to call it Take a Break. So you might say, Ashley, are you crazy? We're studying for the exam. We have jobs. We have families. We have all these things going on. How could you possibly tell us to take a break to read? Because that's what this video is about. Well, I completely understand that, but I do know some people who just love reading for fun, like in their leisure time. It relaxes them and that kind of thing. So for those kind of people who enjoy reading, this video is for you. And even people who don't read all the time. And also there are people who are not taking the exam like within the next 2 months. Maybe they haven't started a rigorous study plan yet. Maybe they're not taking the exam till July, and so it's still April, and maybe they have some time to read. And then there are other people who are just still subscribed to the channel for support and for support of other colleagues still studying, and also just because this channel is not only for tutoring and for exam prep, although that is what it's primarily for. It is just all things social work. So I just wanted to suggest some good books. Since I'm not really working towards anything, I am being encouraged to go for my independent license by some of my friends and stuff, which I kind of put that off, but maybe I'll consider it again. But right now I'm not studying for anything, and I'm just working and living and growing day-to-day social work and that kind of thing. So I do have some extra time sometimes when I'm not working and tutoring and doing everything else that's going to pick back up once I start back full-time to work in another week or so. So I actually joined a book club in December of last year with some ladies that I went to undergrad with, and it's kind of weird because all of them are married. Almost all of them have kids, and I'm the only single one with no kids in the group. So sometimes I can't relate to some of the stuff that they talk about. But that's okay, because the book is the common thing. And then also we're friends too, so it's just sometimes they're talking about their kids and their husbands, and I'm just like, oh. But I also learn from them too, because they are wives and mothers. So it all balances out, and they give me good advice and feedback, and just listening to them talk is just great. So I thought maybe I would share some of the books with you that we've read. So, and also I want this video to serve as self-care. So If anybody knows of any great books that you would suggest for other people, other colleagues to read, put them in the comment section. Give a little brief summary of what the book is about in the comment section, and just let us know that you enjoyed the book, or that your friends suggested the book for you and you're planning on reading it, or whatever. So the books that we read, and I'm going to give you very brief overviews of these books, because I'm going to probably read some of the summaries from the actual book, because I don't want to give away the story, like the good parts. So I probably will just read a little bit of what the summaries are of the books, but I also just give you a tad bit of what I got from the book. So the first book that we read, and I'm going to put these in the description box as well, the names and the authors of the books. The first book that we read was called Stay With Me by Ayobami Adebayo. Sorry, I chopped that all up, but I believe she's an African author. So I'll put it in the description box, like I said. But it's a story about infertility, but it has a plot twist, and it's like a page turner. It was just like, we read that book so quickly, it was ridiculous. But it's a page turner. It's like plot twist out of this world, that kind of thing. But it talks about this couple being married, and they fell in love in college, and although the husband is able to take several wives, his primary wife has agreed that polygamy is not for them. 4 years into their marriage, after consulting fertility doctors and healers, trying strange teas and unlikely cures, his wife is still not able to get pregnant. She assumes she still has time until her family arrives on her doorstep with a young woman they introduce as her husband's second wife. Furious, shocked, and livid with jealousy, the wife knows the only way to save her marriage is to get pregnant, which finally she does, but at a cost far greater than she could have ever dared to imagine. An electrifying novel of enormous emotional power, Stay With Me asks, how much can we sacrifice for the sake of family? It's a great book. Like, if you have time, read it. Even after you pass the exam, great book. Okay, so then the second book is called Always, and it's by Sarah Jio. Again, I'll put it in the description box below. And the books that we read are just really random, and they're very diverse, from diverse authors. We basically just Google like current books that book clubs are reading, or just books that we've heard about from friends, and then we put it in this little app, and it's a spinner, and we randomly pick a book, and that's how it goes. And everybody comes with the book idea, and whoever chooses the book is hosting the book club at their house. And so they came here to me this past Sunday because of me having my surgery and that kind of thing. But anyway, so Always was one of my favorite books. It talked about homelessness, and as a social worker, and just as me in general, I love that book because I worked with the homeless for 4 years while I was in grad school and that kind of thing. So this one, it says, enjoying a romantic candlelit dinner with her fiance Ryan at one of Seattle's chicest restaurants. Kaylee Crane can't believe her good fortune. She has a great job as a journalist and is now engaged to a guy who is perfect in nearly every way. As she and Ryan leave the restaurant, Kaylee spies a thin, bearded homeless man on the sidewalk. She approaches him to offer up her bag of leftovers, and is stunned when their eyes meet. Then, stricken to her very core, the man is the love of her life, Kate McAllister. And then they go on to talk about how they met 10 years ago, and how Kaylee and Kate's attraction was immediate and intense, and how everything felt right. But then suddenly it all ended, and Kaylee was devastated. Now the poor soul on the street is a faded version of her former beloved. His weathered and weary face is as handsome as Kaylee remembers, but his mind has suffered in the intervening years. Over the next few weeks, Kaylee helps Kate begin to piece together his life again, something she initially keeps from Ryan, which is her fiance. As she revisits her long ago relationship, Kaylee realizes that she must decide exactly what and whom she wants. And then this book goes between the past and present for each of the chapters. It's a really great book. I loved it. Some of the people in the group didn't like it, but I loved it. I think y'all might love that one too. And then this is another one. The third one is called Night Road by Kristin Hannah. I did not get to read this book because it was right before my surgery and I was doing way too much as always, and I just really did not get a chance to read all of it. I probably got through like the first 80 pages and it was like 300 pages or so I didn't get through it, but this one was another one that kind of had like a little social worky twang to it, and that the main character, one of the main characters, her mom was addicted to drugs and stuff, and then the mom died, and so she had to move in with her aunt, who was an older lady, and she became best friends with this girl whose family is very wealthy, and she had a crush on the girl's brother, but that wasn't good because the girl's old best friend was dating her brother and something happened, all this kind of stuff. But from attending the book club meeting that month, and learning what happened later on in the book, I really wish I could have read it, but I just still didn't have time to even catch up and read the rest of it, so I had to go on to the next book. But that was a great book from what I could tell, and that was really just a synopsis of what happened in that book, and it's a lot about prescription drug use and the mom trying to hide it, the mom of the wealthy kids trying to hide her drug use and that kind of thing. So that was a good book too. And then the book we just finished reading is The Coldest Winter Ever by Sister Souljah. That one was a far left from the other books that we read, but it was good too, and it was definitely a page turner, and it took you through so much. And this one was about a young girl whose her dad was a drug kingpin in New York, and living in Brooklyn, and then he moved the family out to Long Island into this beautiful home, and then everything crashed down, and how this young girl who was torn apart from her family by being taken away due to her dad being in prison and her mom having some issues, and her siblings were taken away by the state, and she was 17, so she kind of had to fend for herself, and she did a lot of stuff. I mean, a lot of backstabbing, just ruthless, cold-hearted stuff. It's really, like, it was a good book. It was a really raw book, but it was kind of like, they call it like a hip-hop gangster love, well, not gangster, like a hip-hop love story, if you could picture your mind into that kind of space. So that's what the book was about. Very raw. I love the way it was written. It was a great book. So now, finally, this month, we're reading The Wife Between Us, and this is apparently like one of the hot books that's out right now. And a lot of people, and I don't buy these books, like, I'm not gonna put a budget for books, but I check them out from the library and I take them back after I'm done with them. But I got this book on audio, and right now I'm on chapter 18, which I finished with chapter 18 earlier today, and the plot twist is ridiculous. I had to stop reading it because I had to stop and think, or, listening to it, because I had to stop and think, like, wow, what is going on? And so I just put it down. But this book is so good, and it's another one that alternates between, I can't even say past and present, because when I got to that plot twist, everything I was completely shook. So this is what the summary of that one is. It says, when you read this book, you will make many assumptions. You will assume you are reading about a jealous ex-wife. You will assume she is obsessed with her replacement, a beautiful younger woman who is about to marry the man they both love. You will assume you know the anatomy of this tangled love triangle. Assume nothing. Twisted and deliciously chilling, Greer, Hendricks, and Sarah Pekkanen's The Wife Between Us exposes the secret complexities of an inviolable marriage and the dangerous truths we ignore in the name of love. Read between the lines. So this book like I said, it's great so far. I'm excited about reading it. I can't wait to read more and finish it. But this video has gone on way longer than I expected it to. So I'm going to end it here. But like I said, if you know of any great books, leave them in the comment box. In the comment section, and I'll put the titles of all these books in the description box, so that if you want to read any of them that you might be interested in, then you can get access to them online or at your library or wherever. So until next time, I'll see you all later.